Hi there, I'm Melissa Rolfs, and I'm a teen Beachbody coach and a wife and mom of two kiddos and a daughter of the Most High God. And today I want to share a little bit about our journey with food intolerances. We are a gluten-free, dairy-free family, and I just want to share a little bit about how we discovered that and what we eat. And I know I get a lot of questions, so just thought that maybe I could make a video and kind of wrap it up for you. So basically, our daughter was diagnosed with sensory processing disorder when she was 3 years old, and she would get really anxious at night, and she would not sleep through the night, and she would wake up and vomit, and wasn't sleeping in her own room and was sleeping in our room. And it was a really, really rough time for our family. Obviously, we had a child who we didn't know what was going on with her. She was sick all the time. My husband and I were sleep deprived because not only was she up during the night, but we also had a son that was having sleep issues who was younger than her, and it was a really, really rough time in our lives. And right around that time, I had started to learn about clean eating and what it was, and was eating more foods that were whole wheat flour, for example, rather than white flour, and just really trying to make some nutritional changes for our family. And didn't realize that was part of the problem. But long story short, we had our daughter tested for, they did an endoscopy and they tested her for celiac, and she came back negative for that. And they didn't really know what was going on. So through some research and talking with other moms, looked like she had sensory processing disorder. So we were in the process of moving from Illinois to South Dakota when all this was shaking down. So we wondered if part of it was anxiety about the move, and just kind of had to, got the test done like the day that we moved. It was a Saturday, and the doctor was gracious enough to get us in for that endoscopy on a Saturday and get the results from that before we moved. But once we moved to South Dakota, we got in, and she was, what's the word I'm looking for, was diagnosed with sensory processing disorder. So we knew that we were headed in the right direction. And my husband's aunt, she had raised children that had had food intolerances and allergies, and she suggested getting our kids tested. So we ended up going to La Crosse, Wisconsin, to the allergy clinic up there, and had her tested, and it turns out that she was intolerant to wheat and dairy. And that's where the whole wheat flour that I had been giving her was affecting her. So I think it was the combination of the anxiety of the move and the sensory processing disorder being undiagnosed, and the food intolerances kind of created this perfect storm in her and was causing her to be sick every night. So that was a part of it. So we had her tested, learned that she was gluten and dairy intolerant. So then we had our son tested, and he also came back as being intolerant to gluten and dairy, and we figured the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and I'm the one who had had tummy issues and bowel issues, and it was most likely given to them by me. So I got tested as well, and turns out that I too am wheat and dairy intolerant. So our family has just totally transitioned off of dairy and wheat, and it's been really great. I can tell when I have it. I have brain fog, and I'm crabby, and I'm lethargic and tired, and I just don't feel good at all. And I know when our kids have it, they're crabby and their heads hurt, and it's amazing what your body can do. And I read a great book called The Virgin Diet by J.J. Virgin, and she kind of walks through the top 7 food intolerances, what those foods are and kind of what the symptoms are. And you don't realize how good your body feels. You don't realize how bad your body feels until you get off of the foods that are not making you feel well. And so that was just really eye-opening to me. And so some of the things that we eat and drink at our house, we don't do cow's milk, obviously. We'll do almond milk. Cashew milk is also really good. The kids are digging the chocolate cashew milk right now. I don't do coffee creamer anymore. I will do stevia instead of that. We don't really do ice cream. Didn't really. As far as cheese, Daya has some really good cheese that we like. We like their shredded cheese. We like their cheese slices. Those are pretty good. But we don't do a lot of non-dairy dairy anymore. Lauren likes the coconut milk yogurt by So Delicious, so she'll have that from time to time. If there are any other dairy products you're curious about, let me know. The gluten was probably the harder one. Oh, chocolate chips. We do the Enjoy Life chocolate chips. That's something you need to have chocolate, right? So we do the Enjoy Life brand of that. But the gluten was probably the hardest. We found a Udi's gluten-free bread from Costco that we really like. We'll do that. We do rice from time to time, quinoa, gluten-free oatmeal, popcorn, sweet potatoes. We don't really do a lot of carbs anymore either. This has really kind of given our nutrition a complete overhaul, and it's been really good. So if there are certain foods that you're looking for substituting with the dairy and the gluten, let me know. I'm happy to share. I'm just kind of working off of the top of my head right now and what comes to mind. But if you feel like you might be intolerant to any of those foods, I'd encourage you to pick up that book, The Virgin Diet, or ask me questions and see if I can help. I would love to. Your body craves what it's intolerant to. That was something that I learned. And so if there's something that you find that you're craving that is in the dairy category, the gluten category, the egg category, the corn category, the soy category, the peanut category, and the sugar category, those are the top 7 intolerant foods that people are intolerant to. I would encourage you to kind of reevaluate your nutrition and see where those foods might be getting in, where those ingredients, excuse me, might be getting into your food. Read the back of the labels. For example, I was eating some diced chicken for lunch. It was seasoned. Assumed that since it was chicken, it would be fine. Well, my husband read the back of the bag and it contained wheat. So just be really careful when you're eating food that has a label. Just check it out and make sure that it doesn't contain those ingredients that you're intolerant to. So if you have any questions or I can be of help, let me know. We've been this way for probably the last 4 years, I would say, and it does definitely get easier. So I would love to be of help if I can. Thank you. Have a good day.